Rahman Rahim. Okay, so we're going to read some.
صلى على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وهو ليس بكبيرة إنما بالعقل الشافعي فيما لقوله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا كنت فعلت هذا فقد تمت صلاتك إن شئت إن شئت أن تقعد فقعد.
You see what I can find the reading. What the read again? Bismillah.
وهو واجب عندنا وصلى على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وهو ليس بفريضة عندنا خلافا للشافعي رحمه الله.
Okay, I got like this here in my kitab. ويتشهد وواجب إننا وصلى على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Let me see your book. Okay, fine, doesn't matter. It's just okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulih al-Kareem. So, we're discussing your last qa'dah. That is the qa'dah akhira. So, just to put everything in perspective again, one is the qa'datul ula. The qa'datul ula is the sitting after the first 2 rakats in a 3 rakat salah or a 4 rakat salah. The sitting after 2 rakats in a 2 rakat salah, that sitting will be termed as qa'dah akhira because it's your last qa'dah, right? But if you're reading a 3 rakat salah or you're reading a 4 rakat salah, in the sitting after the first 2 rakats is qa'dah, it's a qa'dah akhira, correct? But if it's a 3 rakat salah or with a 4 rakats, it's qa'dah ula, and then what is the qa'dah in the 3rd rakat or the qa'dah in the 4th rakat will be considered as al-qa'datul akhira, right? So now we will be discussing about the last qa'dah, whether it is a 3 rakat salah or a 4 rakat salah. So just remember those terminologies, al-qa'datul akhiratu and al-qa'datul ula, right? So my kitab says وَيَتَشَهَدْ, your kitab says وَالتَشَهُدُ, same thing, one is the fi'l mudhari and one is the masdar. وَهُوَ وَاجِبٌ عِنْدَنَا. So what we're saying here is that to recite, like how, remember we said in the first qa'dah, to recite the tashahud was wajib, remember, na? So here also, to recite the tashahud, التحيات لله والصلوات والطيبات السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. It is wajib according to us. So, we know, we discussed this several times before. If you leave a wajib out intentionally, you have to repeat it in the time. If you leave out a wajib unintentionally, what will happen? You can make sajda sahu. So that is wajib. So if a person left out the tashahud unintentionally, the person can compensate for this with what? With a sajda sahu. So he's saying, وَيَتَشَهَّدُ, you will make tashahud, وَهُوَ وَاجِبٌ عِنْدَنَا. This is wajib according to us, it is not farz, right? Then, وَصَلَّ عَلَى النَّبِيِّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم. So after, so remember we speak of the last rakat here now. So after you recite the tashahud, then you will read durud. And the preferred durud is durud Ibrahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammadin kama sallaita ala Ibrahima وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. So وصلى على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, I told you according to us the Hanafi madhab, that is the preferred durud, right? وهو ليس بفريضة عندنا, and thus to read this durud, it is not farz, to such an extent that if you left out the durud there's no penalty even. There's no penalty. You don't have to make sajda or anything, right? So وَلَيْسَ بِفَرِيضَةٍ إِنَّنَا خِلَافًا لِلشَّافِعِيِّ. So this is contrary to Imam Shafi'i, right? Right, خِلَافًا لِلشَّافِعِيِّ فِيهِمَا. In fact, we differ with Imam Shafi'i in both. We differ. Remember, we said that tashahud is wajib, 2 things. And then we said the durud is not farz. So here, as Imam Shafi'i says, the tashahud is, the recitation of the tashahud is farz, and he says the recitation of the durud is farz. Right? You understood that? I just repeat it again. According to Imam Shafi, the recitation of the the tashahhud is farz and the recitation of the durood is farz. We say no, the recitation of the tashahhud is wajib, and I explained you the implications of wajib. We've done this several times. And then we said also to recite the durood is not compulsory to such an extent. If you don't recite the durood, there is no penalty, nothing, right? So they say, they were saying, so khilafan li shafi'i fihima, contrary to Imam Shafi in both of these two things, liqawlihi alayhi salam. And why? What is our proof? Why? Nabi Sallam said, إِذَا قُلْتَ هَذَا أَوْ فَعَلْتَ هَذَا فَقَدْ تَمَّتْ صَلَاتُكَ. See what Nabi Sallam said. Listen, we just follow this a bit nicely. That Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told Hazrat Ibn Masud, إِن شِئْتَ أَن تَقُومَ فَقُمْ. See, in your last rakat, whether it is the third rakat, or whether it's the fourth rakat, Nabi Sallam said, look here, if you say this, say what? At-tahiyatu lillahi wa salawatu wa tayyibatu. أو فعلت هذا, or you sit in the position of the tashahhud, right? You sit in the position, فقد تمت صلاتك, your salat is complete, right? إن شئت أن تقوم, if you wish, you can stand up after that. So, if reciting, okay, let's just go one step back. So what Nabi Sallam, he gave ikhtiyar. He said, either if you sit in the tashahhud position, or either if you recite the tashahhud, any one of the two you do it, your salat is finished, you complete your farz of your salat is done. So if to recite the tashahhud was compulsory, it was farz, would Nabi Sallallahu said that if you do this or that? For a simple example for you to understand, here's two dictionaries, right? So I tell Luqman, you can take this one, or you can take Luqman, take this one or take that one there, right? So then you decided to take that one. So I can't come and say, but why you never take this one? I say, take this one or take that one. You understand what I'm saying? You said, but Ma, you told me take this one or take that one. The fact that you said take this one or take that one, that shows I have a choice. I can choose which one. So yeah, we say, see, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, if you recite this, right, or if you do this, then your salat is complete. Now, we're not speaking about wajib there. No, don't get confused. Wajib is in its place. We only speak about farziyat here. What we only speak about farziyat. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that, look here, if you sit in this position of tashahhud, or if you recite this tashahhud, whichever one of you two you do, then the farziyat of your salat is done. The farziyat of salat. So that shows you that it can't be farz. To recite tashahhud in the last rakat cannot be farz, because if it was farz, there would be no choice. You wouldn't be given a choice. The fact that you're given a choice shows that it can't be farz. Yes, it is necessary to do it. It is wajib to do it. If you leave it out intentionally, then you have to what? You have to repeat the salah. Or if you do it unintentionally, you can compensate. But we won't say it is farz in the sense that if you leave it out, your salat is not done at all, at all, at all. Are you with me? Right? So that's what he's saying. See, Nabi Sallam said, إِذَا قُلْتَ هَذَا, when you say this, أَوْ فَعَلْتَ هَذَا, or you done this, فَقَدْ تَمَّتْ صَلَاتُكَ, your salat is complete. إِنْ شِئْتَ أَن تَقُومَ فَقُمْ, if you wish, then you can stand up after this. إِنْ شِئْتَ أَن تَقُومَ, then stand up, and then your faraz of salat. وَإِنْ شِئْتَ أَن تَقُودَ, but if you want to carry on sitting and then reciting the durood and making your dua, you can sit, right? You understood that? So is that pretty clear? So okay, the other thing is now so that in detail here that they were just explaining to you that it is not farz to recite the tashahhud, but it is wajib to recite the tashahhud, and we gave you the reason, right? But to sit in the position of tashahhud, that is farz. Why is that farz? Because even though outwardly it appears that you got a choice, that you can either recite the tashahhud or sit in the position of tashahhud. But is it possible to recite the tashahhud and not sit in the position of tashahhud? It's not possible. So that shows you that either way you have to sit in the position of tashahhud. You understand what I'm saying? So even though if you look at literally or lexically, it seems like you got a choice in the farziyat, right? I hope this is clear. It seems like you got a choice with regards to the farziyat of reciting the tashahhud or sitting at tashahhud. But that's if you look at it lexically, if you look at the words on the surface level. But if you look at it practically, you understand that to sit in tashahhud is farz in the last rakat. Why? Because how do you end your salah? You understand what I'm saying? You right? Nabi said, if you say, if you say okay, you don't have to sit, but you can recite the tashahhud. So where are you going to recite the tashahhud? You understand what I'm saying? Are you going to recite the tashahhud in sajda? or you're going to recite the shahud in a standing position. So lexically, it appears that one of the two are faraz, lexically, but practically, if you evaluate it, it shows the end result will be that to sit in tashahud position is faraz, and to recite that tashahud is wajib. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Because why we, I repeat it. So literally or lexically, it appears that you have a choice to sit or not, right? But if you look at the practicality of it, how is it that you're going to complete the salah without sitting in tashahud? So that shows you to sit in tashahud is actually faraz, you understood? Right. So there's another discussion here. Now the next thing is what salatu ala nabi. The interesting discussion which is uh, uh, I told you here in salah according to Hanafi madhab to recite the durud is not farz. It's not even wajib, right? This is later before that in it is right. You can say sunnah or whatever, right? Maybe you must check in that in Kitab Fiqh Muyassar, they got everything categorized very nicely there. We can check it there, right? Okay, Jazakallah, there's some feedback here from the listeners to say they understood this complex points. Jazakallah for that. So, this is a different masla. You see, Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima, right? Oh, you believe, you must sing durood upon Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So now you know, mashallah, you studied Usul al-Shashi, you studied Usul al-Fiqh. For those people, those alimas that maybe know Arabic and they haven't done Usul al-Fiqh, Usul al-Shashi, inshallah soon we're going to have it downloaded on our YouTube channel. That's the next thing. So though normally that in the girls' madrasas they don't teach Usul al-Fiqh, but if anybody's got some istidad in Arabic and they want to do the Usul al-Fiqh, very soon inshallah we'll have the whole of Usul al-Shashi downloaded onto our YouTube. But even if you never study usul fiqh as a subject separately, which is normally taught in the darulums, first you do usul shashi, then you do Nurul Anwar, and then if you go in the big madrasas in Pakistan, there's a third book called Husami, right? But we try to, during the course of our lesson, our Hidaayah lesson, we try to point out all the usul fiqh that comes. So the usul here is al-amru lil wujub. When you get a command, it means something is compulsory, right? And sometimes, due to the context, we understand that amr can come for ibahat. Like if you like I tell you, no, drink this thing here, it's very, very tasty. You must drink this here, or drink this thing here is very beneficial for your health. So when I say drink this amr, does it in every context means if you don't drink that thing, you are sinful? No, that's amr rishad. I'm commanding you just to advise you. So sometimes a command also comes not in the literal meaning of making something compulsory upon you, but amr comes also in the meaning of just as advice, right? So forget about salat for the moment, right? That I will explain you the masla. The Quran, the Hanafi madhab, even in the we told you in the Hanafi madhab, in the Qa'da ula, to recite Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, sajasa become wajib, right? And I gave you the story of Imam Abu Hanifa. In the second, in your Qa'da akhira, there we say you can recite the durud, sunnah to recite the durud. You must just do me a favor, you must check in fiqh muyassar under the sunnah there and see what it is there, right? So if a person doesn't recite the durud, he terminates his salat after the tashahud, there's no wajib that's left out. So the next discussion here is in general, right? Maybe I should first explain. So because Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Oh, you believe, send durud upon Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Some ulama say that at least once in your lifetime, because this is a command. And you remember you done this also in Usul Fiqh, that when a command comes, it means it's not litaqrar. You must do it one time in your life. If I say eat this here, you only have to eat it one time. You don't have to eat this, go and continue eating it again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Are you with me? So some ulama say the implication of this verse here, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima, that it is wajib upon every single believer that at least once in his life he must send durud on Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Some ulama say that the implication of this verse here is that every time you hear the name of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it is wajib. What? It is wajib to recite durud upon Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Some ulama say that what it means here is that in every majlis, in every gathering where the name of Nabi sallallahu was mistaken, then at least you should recite durud one time, right? So let's look at the kitab. وَالصَّلَاةُ عَلَى النَّبِيِّ خَارِجَ الصَّلَاةِ وَاجِبَةٌ. Right? So to recite salat upon Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, kharij salat, out of salat, wajibatun is wajib, imma marratan wahida, at least once in a lifetime, kama qalahu al-Karkhi, like how Imam Karkhi has said. أو كلما ذكر النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كما اختاره الطحاوي, or every time the name of Nabi صلى الله عليه وسلم is mentioned, like how Imam al-Tahawi says. So this is a bit of a difficult one. The fatwa is not upon this. So imagine every time the name of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is taken, like we do when we study hadith, or here we are studying like fiqh, etc. So every time we recite the name of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we must say Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And then if you don't recite that the durood upon there, you will become sinful. So that is a bit of a stern fatwa, right? Fatwa is not upon that, right? The fatwa is not upon that. The fatwa is upon this, that at least once in every majlis. I told you there's three calls. One is once in a lifetime, once at least in every majlis, and always, and then the third one is that every time the name of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was taken, you have to recite the durood upon him, right? So putting aside the fatwa that you have to recite every time, whatever, at least I told you we must try, inshallah, that every time we hear the name of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, let us recite the durood, inshallah. Like I tell you, even if we don't understand the lesson, we come away from the lesson with nothing. But at least if after we have, we have recited the durood on Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, at least that will be recorded in our book of good deeds that we recited the durood on Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam abundantly. So let us try, inshallah, every time we hear the name of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we recite the durood. So in this ibarat here, what he's saying, yeah. فكفينا المؤونة فكفينا مؤونة الأمر, right? We have been, by reciting durood once upon Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we have been sufficed, or we have been absolved from the responsibility of this obligation, right? والفرض المأوي في التشهد هو التقدير. So we're answering Imam Shafi's opinion. Remember there, I told you early on, if you see there, it's mentioned, هو ليس بفريضة عندنا خلافا للشافعي. It is not for us, according to us, contrary to Hazrat Imam Shafi, rahimahullah ta'ala. So Imam Shafi said, to recite the durood in every salah is fard, remember? So we say, وَالْفَرْضُ الْمَرْوِيُّ فِي التَّشَهُدِ وَالتَّقْدِيرُ. That farz that is mentioned, that Imam Shafi says, in fact, I'll mention, there's a hadith here, let me see, that Imam Shafi is speaking about. Is not mentioned in the kitab itself, but it is mentioned in the Shara. Let me just find it here. Yeah. The hadith which he said, this the hadith of Ibn Mas'ud, where it's mentioned like this here, min qabli ay yafruda, min qabli ay yafruda. It's not mentioned in the text. Is it mentioned in the text? Not mentioned in the text. Yeah. So there's a hadith which says here that just trying to find the hadith. There's a hadith in which the word farad is used. The hadith in which the word farad is used. So our answer to that here is that farad doesn't come in the technical meaning of something which is compulsory, but rather farad just comes in the meaning that something has been apportioned, something has been fixed, right? Like in the Quran also, فَنِصْفُ مَا فَرَضْتُمْ, etc. Then half of that which you fixed it. So that hadith, I can't just find, seem to look at the hadith. Yeah, okay, Jazakallah, bring it. It's in the Hasha. Let me see, where is it? Jazakallah for the visit. Yeah, there's a hadith, the hadith of Imam Shafi, which says, where is it? Yeah. الفرض المروية في تشريع المسجد هو معنى التقدير، وهذا واجب على استدلال الإمام الشافعي. والمراد الذي رواه كنا نقول في الصلاة قبل أن يفرض علينا التشهد. Yeah. We used to say in the salat before tashahud became wajib upon us. قبل أن يفرض علينا التشهد. So yeah, Imam Shafi is using this here. So okay, I got it slightly mixed up. I was saying this is the answer to the Darud, but it's not the answer to the Darud. This is the answer to Tashahud being Mufarraz. What is it? It's the answer to the Tashahud being Farz. So we say that Imam Shafi قبل أن يفرض علينا, before Tashahud became Farz upon us. So Imam Shafi is using the hadith to say that the recitation is Farz of Tashahud. So we say that Farz doesn't mean Farz in the technical meaning, like how we know something compulsory, but means before it has been designated for us, or before it has been allotted to us. You understand what I'm saying? تقديري before it has been fixed as possessing. والفرض المروي في التشهد, that the farz which has been narrated with regards to tashahhud, what taqdeer, it means just that before it has been fixed or before it has been made part of your duties, to so to say, like how you as an individual, you have certain duties which is compulsory to do. If you don't do it, you're going to get in big trouble. Certain duties you got to do. If you don't do it, there will be trouble, but not so much trouble. Then you got certain duties to do. If you don't do it, there won't be trouble, but if you do it, it will be good. So same thing there. We say that farz doesn't come in the technical meaning to say that it is obligatory upon you, but rather والفرض المروي في التشهد والتقدير, that means being apportioned to you, it's been fixed for you. So that's how we answer the hadith of Imam Shafi. They say that the actual tashahud is farz. And we gave you the reason, our reason there. We said because the reason, إذا فعلت هذا أو قلت هذا فقد سمى الصلاة. If you do this or you sit like this, then your salat is complete. So if it was farz, there wouldn't be the ikhtiyar there, right? Okay, time is up. To stop there. To continue. Tomorrow is Friday. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us. May Allah ta'ala make it a means of shifa for us, for our illnesses. Allah ta'ala cure us from all our illnesses. Allah ta'ala give us strength and use us for deen for many, many years to come. By his message and the message of his Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. فسبحان الله بحمده سبحانك الله وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. ما شاء الله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.